Right. So polynomials are any expression with only positive integer powers in all terms. It's determined by the largest power, and we order largest power to smallest left to right. So that's a convention. We go from the biggest power to the smallest power. Cool. Are we happy with that? So I've got some examples to my right, and I'll give you 30 seconds to jot those notes down. I've got some examples to my right. I want you to identify, whilst you're waiting, which of these are polynomials and which of them are not polynomials. So which of those examples are polynomials and which are not? Just write down the letters that you, sorry, I'll give you letters so you know. This isn't a multi-choice where there's only one correct answer. There could be 0 correct answers, there could be 4 correct answers, or any number between. Alright, time's up. So, which of these are polynomials and which are not? Who thinks there is 0 polynomials on the board? Who thinks there is 1? Who thinks there is 2? Who thinks there is 3? Who thinks there is 4? Very good. 2 is the most commonly answered. Which of those 2 are? Arabella, can you give me one of the polynomials on the board? A is a polynomial, correct? And can you give me the other one? Thank you, David. What's the other polynomial I've written on the board? A is a polynomial?
B as well.
B is also a polynomial. How do you know that A and B are the only 2 polynomials on the board? What makes C not a polynomial? The square root. What is the square root? The square root is a power of? Not a negative half, positive half. But very good. It's a fractional power, not an integer, correct? So because it's not an integer power, it's not a polynomial. Now this could be a polynomial, but every term must be a polynomial for it to work. Does that make sense? And for a second one, what makes this not a polynomial? The 1 on x, correct? Which should be represented as x to the power of -1. There's also another problem with this one. What's the problem with this one? It's not ordered correctly. We should be ordering it left to right with our largest power on the left as we work across. Does that make sense? What is 3x to the power of? 0. We could write that as 3x to the power of 0, okay? We don't need to, but just a reminder. So, what degree polynomial is our first one? Now the degree, remember, is determined by, the order or degree is determined by the largest power. So what degree or order, what order power is the first one? Third. What about this one? Power of 9, which makes it a 9th degree polynomial, correct? Happy with that? Now all our polynomials will come in the form, I'm just going to write fx for example. A, give me a number that isn't too large. X to the power of? Thanks, 4. Great option, David. It sounded like you said 30, but that wouldn't have been you. Oh, 3. Oh, that's okay. I wish I'd done 3. They all come in that form. Sweet. What does the A represent? The B, the C, the D, the E? What would replace those? Values, numbers. Okay, we're going to talk about how we can find out these depending on how much information we have. But before we get started with that, I think we'll just get going on some routine practice about identifying what a polynomial is and more importantly what a polynomial is not. So exercise 3.1, question 1. Let's get started.